Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Sue, and about a week or so ago, Chaos Zero Nightmare unveiled their Season 1 update patch, Forbidden Catalyst. And to say that I was excited is an understatement. I have been absolutely loving this game, and it's why I've been covering it so heavily here on the channel. In case you've been living under a rock though and don't know what Chaos Zero Nightmare is, it is Epic 7 developer Super Creative's newest game. It's a turn-based deck builder with gorgeous 2D animations and, of course, amazing character designs just like you'd expect from this studio. And if you want to give the game a try while also helping support what I do, click the link below the like button. If you're a fan of Epic 7, I think you'll really enjoy it. Speaking of Super Creative though, and amazing character designs, Yuki. When the game was announced back in April of 2024, there were two original character designs that caught my eye, and those are these two girls. Ever since I was a little kid, my favorite video game characters have always been the hand-to-hand brawler types, as well as a certain first lady of fighting games that happens to kick a lot. I also tend to gravitate towards the girls that have really cool swords in games that I play. As my friend put it, this new banner character in CZN is the most Sue-coded character that he's ever seen. And if I had a nickel for every time this year that Super Creative felt that they specifically designed a character made to appeal to me, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. And it's also weird that I pulled the 2 units that I wanted off of this very same banner. Granted, the Magna was a dupe. Yes! Let's go! Oh man, she's so gorgeous. With our gorgeous sword wielder acquired, all that was left to do now was level her up, enjoy the newest story content, and then try out the game's newest content, Laboratory Zero. And at first, things started off great with Yuki as she was cleaning up enemies left and right. But once I got towards the harder difficulties in fights, I very quickly hit a wall. You see, many of Laboratory Zero's elite and boss monsters are not really great for Yuki. They're kind of a mismatch. The level is designed for single target void affinity damage dealers, but Yuki is an order affinity damage dealer who specializes in AoE attacks. They're not even remotely close. I went to bed that night in defeat, and when I woke up, I was surprised to see on social media so many people complaining about the character, about how she was subpar, and sharing similar stories to what I had experienced on stream. That said, I'm a video game boomer at this point. I grew up in an era where if you didn't get good, you simply didn't get to play anymore. And I was determined to make this character work as my main damage dealer because I thought she was simply too cool to give up on. What I needed was basically a training montage. I grinded out most of the potentials of the character, as well as a full set of memory fragments tailor-made to the strategy that I wanted to use. I tested out dozens of epiphany combinations as well as partners, and if you want to see the fruits of that testing, you can find it in my guide How to Play Yuki, which I will link down in this video's description. With my newly powered up Yuki, I was able to easily crush everything Laboratory Zero had to offer until I reached its final difficulty, Phase 11. Here, the enemies have the ability to often do 50% or more of your maximum health in a single hit. And to make matters worse, the boss of the level felt like it was taunting me, further fueling my burning desire to win with Yuki. As a quick aside, this is Tristan Wolf. He is a close friend of mine and fellow content creator who focuses on super creative games like Epic 7 and Chaos Zero Nightmare. His signature unit in E7 is the Wild Angara, a ferocious wolf with really annoying abilities. When Chaos Zero Nightmare came out, I affectionately named this wolf boss after him as an in-joke between our communities as an homage to him and his followers, which are the Wolf Pack. I have always gotten along with Tristan, and I feel like we have a great working relationship. That said, as far as I was concerned, he was standing between me and proving that Yuki was strong and could solo DPS my runs. But try as I might, my ascended Yuki had her wings clipped time and time again. I started to stress out that maybe I was doing something wrong, so I went back to brainstorming on how I could defeat this incredibly difficult boss. And what I arrived at was two answers. Number one, forbidden cards, which up until this point, I had largely ignored. These cards are the core mechanic of Season 1 of Chaos Zero Nightmare. They're powerful curses that eventually turn into uniquely powerful cards that can turn the tide of battle. In particular, Ecstasy of Violence seemed like an incredibly strong card, able to shore up the biggest weakness that Yuki had, which is her single target DPS. That said, forbidden cards are hidden somewhere on the map and you have to get lucky to find them. They're usually located in spots with multiple question mark spots adjacent to one another. And the second answer that I arrived at was actually way more simple than I thought. I had been so wrapped up in playing double support Yuki lately because of comments from viewers on my streams, as well as the official team recommendations on CZN social media accounts, that I kind of completely overlooked this obvious fact. After talking to a fellow content creator, he said to me that he felt that the key to success in this game was just playing a standard RPG comp. You know, 1 DPS, a support, and 1 tank. You see, the reason I kept failing was simply because my healers kept entering deep trauma state. How are you supposed to get around that? Well, you already know. It's alright, we'll get this. Hit me again, please. No? Here we go. Counter again. Play the animation! Bro, play the animation! These were the two girls that made me want to play Chaos Zero Nightmare in the first place, and I was fully committed to taking down my podcast co-host with them come hell or high water. Eventually, I got on a run that felt incredibly promising, boasting great epiphany choices for all of my characters. I even managed to find the Dimensional Tunnel with a forbidden card. Sadly though, it wasn't Ecstasy of Violence. I instead had to settle for Portrait of Fury. Not a bad card by any means with its draw power, but I didn't think it gave me the damage that I needed to push through. Near the end of the run though, I got a monster card to drop that didn't really look like much at first, but it actually saved my bacon, and that's Winged Humanoid Beast. Yeah, I know for those of you who are more experienced, you're probably looking at this and going, wait, that's just Ecstasy of Violence at home. Why would you even play that? But to my surprise, when you're only fighting a single enemy and most of your team is comprised of damage buffs from a character like Ray, it actually performed pretty well. With my deck fully complete, it was time once again to take on Phase 11 Tristan Wolf and all of his BS. For most of the run, everything was going smoothly, with Magna holding the front line while Yuki spammed her sword skills to whittle down his nearly 40,000 HP. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until he had around 40% health remaining, and that's when disaster struck. Looking at the life bars, I thought, there's just no way I'm going to be able to pull this off. I had 2 turns at best, so I focused hard on playing the right cards in the right order to squeeze out as much damage as I possibly could with Yuki. Oh, and also there was a giant punch to his big stupid head from Magna that definitely helped. Anyways, with death looming only 3 action points away, I just trusted that my Yuki's damage was enough and went for a trickery strike into an iceberg cleave and hoped that it was enough. Yes! Finally! Jeez! Oh, I did it. Holy, we didn't even have Predator's Blade. Yeah, it absolutely felt amazing. I had done it. Solo DPS Yuki to clear the hardest difficulty of Laboratory Zero. And for some of you, it might not seem like the biggest achievement, but I'm still incredibly proud of it. I believed in these 2 characters when I feel like a lot of people had written them off. To overcome Mr. Wolf with the same 2 characters that made me want to download the game in the first place, it just feels right. Hopefully this gives you all inspiration to not give up on your favorite characters, even if the internet tells you that they're bad. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Later now.